There's a big, beautiful bill. There is defunding PBS. There is maybe people being sent to Djibouti. Like, not a joke, really, being sent to Djibouti who are being, deported from this place, disappeared. But the actual thing that's keeping life into the Trump world of being, of all things that we focus on, is Jeffrey Epstein. And something that's helping this stay in light is not the fact that he decided not to put out things and so people are turning on him for that. It's the fact that someone put something out that really is a non-starter. It really technically really means nothing. But the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch are finding out that anytime you go against the boss will go against you because he sues everybody. A lawsuit set last night, as recorded this on Saturday the 19th, so the 18th of July. President Trump filed a defamation lawsuit in Miami federal court seeking at least $10 billion in damages. Defendants will be Dow Jones, News Corp, Rupert Murdoch, for the Wall Street Journal reporters Khadeeja Safdar and Joe Palazzolo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defendants. So I guess if Murdoch ponies up the first $8 billion, the other folks can fill it out there. But the suit is claiming that the Wall Street Journal falsely reported Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein a bawdy, B-A-D-W-Y, the word of the day, letter in 2003 that included a suggestive photo, a nude sketch, allegations that he vehemently, the word I always butcher, denies. Vehemently. Pretty much says it didn't happen. So let's go to the dispute. Wall Street Journal reported that Trump's contribution to a birthday album for Epstein featured a typed message that was a back and forth sort of insider conversation with them. It was inside the outline of a naked woman, ending with may every day be another wonderful secret, and his signature in that space that looks like that space. The problem is we don't see the letter. We've not, at least at this point in time, not seen an actual piece of letter. I've seen things that are, supposedly what the letter sort of looked like, and it would be a little tasty, a little bit on the rough edges, and would be something you expect from Donald Trump 20 odd years ago. The problem is Trump says it didn't happen. Trump says it's not true. Trump wants the Epstein stuff to go away. People believe that Trump's on the Epstein list, so they think he wants it to go away. Epstein's not going away. He's been gone for years and is not going away anytime soon. For Donald Trump, a $10 billion claim far exceeds any previous defamation award and signals an aggressive strategy to intimidate media outlets on top of everything else. $10 billion is a lot of money, but Rupert Murdoch actually has $10 billion in pocket change, so that's not the problem. As for the Wall Street Journal, who actually produced this article, and Murdoch themselves, they publicly pledged to defend their reporting, citing rigorous editorial review. They say it's real, and they say it's freedom of speech, so back off, DJT, because this is how it works here in America. For freedom of the press. Oh, for the freedom of the press, or the media, since we don't use many presses these days. First Amendment experts note that this is unprecedented, as was the lawsuit against CBS, as was a lawsuit against ABC. No sitting president has sued a major newspaper, and it could put a chill in investigative journalism, which is exactly the way Donald Trump would probably like it. There are wider tensions beyond just this one thing. As I said, we talked about, just that quick aside, this is the third major entity that Donald Trump has said, I'm going after you in a suit. Two of them have settled to, hilarity ensuing in those cases. This lawsuit follows a DOJ determination that there was no client list in the Epstein case, so there's nothing to put out there, even though the head of the DOJ said the client list was on my desk. I'm going to give it to you in a couple days. A few weeks later, there's no client list. Her and the FBI, they all say it's no client list, although they all said it was before. The Who's Lying Now was a story we did a couple weeks ago. We already did the Who's Lying Now thing. That's done. We're talking about this particular thing here, which is helping Epstein not go away anytime soon. So to sort of alleviate some of the MAGA fans who want to stay MAGA fans but really want to see Epstein files, Donald Trump is asking for the grand jury transcripts of the Epstein cases. Now, remember, Epstein died before he actually went to court, before anything actually sentenced, if you will. And so they couldn't move forward anything going forward. All they could do was take the evidence they had to put some case together and just hold on to it. The transcripts of grand jury investigation, as I'm told by many pundits, are extremely boring. And they don't have like the pictures or the maps or the graphic detail or the videos or the audios or bits and pieces. They're just basically the bullet points to say this is kind of what we went over. And in this case, they are never released, like ever. So it may not even be something that the law will make happen. The judges might say, no, we don't do this, Trump. We just don't. So we're going to not do this for here. And it's not going to make anybody happy anyway. So the precedent is not worth the time. Trump praised Murdoch basically for the multitude of Trump's life in the business world, calling him legendary. In fact, owing Murdoch a lot to his success, being him owning Fox News and outlets like that allowed the newscasters to tell the story of Donald Trump as Donald Trump wanted to do. But it's a layer of irony to this whole thing because, once again, Trump was friends with Epstein back in the day, but until he had him arrested, and Trump was friends with Murdoch back in the day until Murdoch said something that put his newspapers in the forefront, got them some relevancy, and now Trump wants money out of that one. Trump has a right to protect his reputation, as your mods may vary on what you think of his reputation, and this also puts pressure on media for fact-checking diligence, which they usually do fairly well, and it's really easy to fact-check Donald Trump because so many things are flat-out lies. However, massive lawsuit is probably going to be dismissed, assuming they don't cave to it or they don't do some sort of settlement, and it'll backfire going forward, so free speech is at threat. If they do cave to it, that's where free speech gets kind of worried of some. And it's going to erode public trust in media, where the journalism, who's out there supposedly telling the truth, finding the bits and pieces that other folks don't want to see, and revealing it to us, truth to power, if you will, where we can't believe what we believe. We can't believe what they're telling us. We don't know who to believe. If you are a fan of Donald Trump, the MAGA world, and you believe that what he says is all golden, that's fine. It's dandy. I don't do that because I have eyes, I have ears, I've read things, I've seen things. I've seen him redo things and flip-flop back and forth. But if you're a person who says, I want to see what other people find, I want to see what's going on out there, I want to hear from investigative reporters on what's really happening, not just take the word of a government, because you'd never just take the word of the government, whether you like the guy in charge or not, we're going to have issues. If the courts allow this suit to proceed, Trump must actually prove actual malice. I don't think there's any there. I think it's just a whimsical story from the past because we know there are ties to Trump in the past. More to it. The Wall Street Journal must disclose evidence, and we may actually have to see the copy of the letter. That was the sort of the telling tale with this story. The Wall Street Journal didn't actually publish the letter when they published the story. They just said, here's a story, here's a description, it sounds like Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump said, nope, $10 billion. Give it to me now. That's how it's playing out right now. This has the larger impact on the media world itself. Obviously, Donald Trump not liking the media for his first term, being able to play the media to a point back in the day. There was a time where he played his own publicist and called people up to get himself in the newspapers, get himself on TV, get himself some pub. But not liking the media as president, because when he says something's going to happen and they say, well, he said it, but it usually doesn't. Or President Trump says something and they say, it's actually a lie, that's not true. Trump has a way to fight back. He's always sued people in general, and he's suing people now, even though the lawsuits are most less frivolous. The problem is the stations he's sued so far, the entities so far, ABC and CBS, want something from the government or want the government to go away to keep things going forward. So they have so far capitulated. They have so far caved. They have found ways to play along with it and, of course, settle in these cases. Rupert Murdoch, I'm not sure how well he wants to play with this one, but he's got some money. He probably has some time. And if he wants to play this one to the point, he can. He is playing with the most powerful man in the world, who's not him. He would be number 2 or 3 if this weren't Donald Trump. And we'll see how it plays out going forward. So the question remains, will we see the letter? Will we see the letter because it goes to court, or does the Wall Street Journal just sort of publish it to kind of prove their point ahead of time? Will Donald Trump get 10 billion, 9 billion, 5 billion, a couple 100,000 out of the Wall Street Journal, Murdoch, or the reporters in this case? Will Jeffrey Epstein go away? Even though he's long gone, will he ever go away? We just have to sit back, unfortunately, and wait this one out.